Hey guys, today we are going to talk about equipment that you are using on VR arenas. We will talk about PCs, VR headsets, routers and many more devices. Let's pick the best one. We will talk not only about VR equipment itself, we will talk more about how to control it, how to manage it and how to properly use it on your VR arenas. My name is Igor. I am CTO at Another World. Let's dive in. Not long ago, there was a battle between two groups of VR headset. One group requires powerful PCs and graphic cards. Another group just standalone devices that requires nothing. But VR headsets from the standalone group won this battle because first group, like HTC Vive, requires powerful PCs, it costs money and increases complexity of the flow, including streaming from PC to the headset. So today we will focus on standalone devices, and the main question is not which group to pick, it's definitely the second one. The question is which device to pick. Is it the Oculus Quest or Pico or HTC Focus? Let's start with Oculus Quest, since it's one of the major companies who develop VR headsets. So it's Oculus Quest 2 in front of us. In terms of performance, it's great. In terms of price, it's also great. Oculus Quest 3 is a bit pricey, but the performance much better. The only disadvantage I see in this headset, actually there are two of them. It requires connection to your Facebook and Meta account. You have to create organization, invite members, connect all headset there. It's not so easy, I would say. Another thing to mention that Oculus and Facebook and Meta mostly focus on B2C market. It means they're more interested in the people who buy headsets to play at their home. Probably that's why the tracking system mostly train it on the environment like you can face at your home. Probably windows, sofas, kitchen or whatever. And there are arenas you see the environment is a bit different and sometimes it makes tracking tricky. But except that, everything else is great. The performance is top notch. For example, Oculus Quest 3, one of the best headsets I've ever tried. In terms of extra equipment that you can buy, on arenas you're not using a headset for an hour or two. You're using it for 10 hours a day, and you need to be ready to quickly change the battery, to clean it, and there is a lot of extra devices you can buy. For example, this one is Bobovr called. You can easily adjust, depends on the person who wearing it. You can easily replace the battery, put it on charge and put it on. It has magnets, so it can be easily installed. We've tried up to 5 of them, I would say, but this is one is best. It's again, it's a bit pricey maybe, but it costs its money. Yeah, as I said, Oculus Quest is the best one. The question is to buy Oculus Quest 2 or 3. It depends on if you're opening a new arena, probably I would recommend Oculus Quest 3 because it's the future. You invest in the future games, and we will consider Oculus Quest 3 performance for developing future games. Right now, Oculus Quest 2 is a great solution. It works perfectly, priced 2 times cheaper. The tracking is okay. Some Facebook management requires at the beginning, and it's just focused only on B2C market. Right now, you have to calibrate each headset before each game. What it means? Imagine you have 20 headsets in one room and you have to put inside one game. For that, you have to put headset in one position somewhere in the arena and press one button. It says this is the beginning of the arena, for example. And that's how you calibrate. Other headsets and other manufacturers provide enterprise license. It allows you to not calibrate each headset individually. You can just calibrate one and it will share this calibration to other headsets. It's a really killer feature, but it costs its money and you have to extra pay.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk.
Oculus doesn't have this feature at all, so you even can't pay for it. If it's okay for you, great headsets, we start with it and still a lot of companies and arenas are using it. Now let's talk about Pico. It's actually just Chinese clone of Oculus Quest. In terms of weight, it's much lighter. I love how it's balanced.
Perfectly balanced. This whole thing should be.
What's different in terms of technology? Pico 4 is similar to Oculus Quest 2, and in terms of price, in terms of performance, it's pretty almost a clone of it. But it doesn't require any Facebook management or whatever organization management. It requires like a few minutes to unpack it and box it, and it's ready to play, install the game and go on. For new arenas, we recommend this one just because of the license and quick setup. In terms of tracking, every company has its own proprietary algorithm to track a headset because there is a camera. The algorithms analyze images from these cameras and it detects the position in the space. From my experience, I would say tracking algorithm on Pico works better than Oculus. I think it's because Oculus just focuses on B2C market, but Pico trying to focus on VR arenas. So in terms of tracking, I think this one is a bit better, at least for now, but any update might change the situation. What else to say about this headset? Pico, there is a new version released just a few months ago. This is the same performance as Oculus Quest 3, so so they keep competing with Oculus Quest 3. Another thing, they have an enterprise license. It means you don't need to calibrate each headset every time, but you have to pay extra dollars to enable enterprise usage. And in terms of price, it's almost 50% more than without this feature. But still, you can use it as a regular Oculus Quest, just calibrate each headset before you start. But with feature, you don't need to do it, and it just increases your time how you can start the game. And what killer feature we have? We can combine different headsets in one game. It doesn't matter, are you using Oculus Quest or Pico or HTC Focus. You can combine all headsets and play in VR Arena and test it. That's how actually our clients do. For example, they have VR Arena with Oculus Quest. They buy a few Pico headsets, include them in the game, and see the difference. The thing that you would notice that the technologies that used for lenses for Pico, it's called pancake lenses. It makes the text more clear when people read it, and I noticed it right from the first wearing this headset. But Oculus Quest 2 has different technology for lenses. Oculus Quest 3 has pancake lenses the same as a Pico 4. So that's why probably I would prefer Pico over Oculus Quest 2. But if I have to pick Pico 4 or Oculus Quest 3, definitely Oculus Quest 3 because of its performance. We've already talked about Pico and Oculus, but there is one really great headset called HTC Focus. In terms of performance, it's pretty close to Oculus Quest 2, but a few months ago they also released a new version and it sounds really promising. And HTC Focus is actually top 1 headset for VR arenas in US. In Europe, price of HTC Focus is much higher than in US, but the biggest advantage of this headset actually is its license. HTC Focus 3 has a license that allows you to not calibrate headset each time before the game. So you calibrate just once for one headset and it shares the calibration. But you have to pay subscription fee to use this feature. That's why probably most of the US VR arenas use HTC Focus 3. In terms of performance, it's Oculus Quest 2, so not so great, but the new headset sounds promising. If we talk about replacing batteries, it's almost have embedded Bobovr, so you can easily replace batteries without purchasing any extra equipment for HTC Focus. That's a huge advantage actually. If you talk about controllers, actually they are all pretty the same. They use the same tracking system. There is some sensors that emits light on these controllers and the headset receives it, and that's how he understands the position of the tracker. That's why you always have some plastic thing on your headset. But Oculus Quest 3 made a pretty, I would call, revolution there. So it removes everything. It emits light near the buttons and it's enough to track position of your trackers. Disadvantages of them, you can just easily break them if you bump them or just they drop on the floor, but they still all the same. I don't see any huge advantages or disadvantages of any of the trackers of these headsets. If you talk about audio systems, some of the clients on VR arenas prefer to use external mics and audios. I'm not keen on this solution, to be honest. I understand why they're using it, because embedded audio system in standalone headsets has not such great quality. But when people wear it, they actually don't hear themselves and don't hear their friends. We still have a system that allows you to use an internal mic and transmit this voice inside the game, but to be honest, I'm not keen on this solution. I would recommend not to use them actually. Let's talk about other equipment that you have on the VR arenas. It's routers. Why it's so important? Because you have too many players on your arena, up to 20 or even more. You need to send all data in real time about their position, about their hands, guns, how they shoot. And it has such huge requirement and demanding for bandwidth for your network. So you can't use your personal routers from your home that supports up to 10 devices. Here you have a huge number of devices. Each of them use a huge bandwidth of your network. So we recommend using professional routers. We prepared a list of recommended routers. Depends on the number of headsets, because we don't want you to pay more if you are not using the full power of this router. Also, you need some specialist and engineer who can properly set up it and configure. Why it's so important? I've seen a lot of cases when someone just set up the router and left the VR arena, but from time to time you have to update its support. Some errors might occur, and in that case it always happens in the most inappropriate time when you have a birthday who are celebrating 30 people in the arena and we're waiting to launch the game, but you have some problem with the router. You can't fix it manually. I saw how stressful it is. So I recommend to pick the best solution that you can manage yourself in these stressful situations. So you bought 20 headsets, now you have a router in your VR arena, and now you have to buy a server. Actually, it's the thing that launches the game. In our case, it should be definitely a high powerful PC, but gaming laptop is enough for our games. So server is actually connects all headsets in one network, synchronize all data, game master using it to control the game, switch games, switch rounds, switch modes and whatever. This the thing actually should support up to 20 headsets on different arenas. Some of the companies might use other solution. It might be a cloud solution where you don't have a server inside your VR arena and it's somewhere in the cloud. It's good in terms of price because you don't need to buy a server, but it's bad in terms of internet connection. You might face some lags or delays on your VR headsets, and if you have some problems with the connection, you won't be able even to launch the game. Our games don't require internet connection, at least like a stable one. You just need to check your license, and we are working, by the way, to avoid even this one. So you can just launch the game without having a stable internet connection, and people can continue celebrating events and birthdays. Another advantage of a gaming laptop on your VR arena, you can just take it for some outdoors events. You can just launch our games somewhere else. You don't be forced to launch these games where you have a stable internet connection and fixed location. So we've done with picking the right VR headsets and PCs, but actually it's the first part of our job. The second part is even more complex, is properly control and manage this equipment. Imagine you have 20 players in your arena. You won't wear each headsets and launch the game manually. You will just launch it automatically by pressing Y button. Because we have a system called Device Manager, it allows you to install updates, checking the tracking status, checking the battery status to make sure that battery is enough to launch the game. It can manage multiple arenas in the same room. For example, this one. Here we have 2 arenas. Each arena allows up to 10 players and they can play individually or in the separate games. And that's all with help of Device Manager. Let's talk more about what exact features you have and what exact features you're going to use. First of all, of course, it's a calibration. Some of the headsets have an enterprise tracking system, some of them not. It doesn't matter. Our Device Manager supports both systems. And our Device Manager supports any VR headsets. It might be Oculus Quest, Pico or Focus. So you can combine them or just use one group of VR headsets. How to connect VR headset to Device Manager? Some time ago, every time you restart the headset, you had to connect it by cable to the PC where you installed Device Manager. But with the latest update, which released a month ago, you don't need to do it anymore. You just launch the headset, automatically connects to our Device Manager. How it works? We just pre-install the background application on your VR headset and it connects automatically every time you restart it. Also, Device Manager is the one who is responsible for installing updates of our games. So it always shows you a notification, hey, we have a new update of the game, we have a new map or new mode in our games, go and try it on. We don't force actually our clients to update and remove old versions. We always keep old versions in case you won't like it or some bug and you want to test for some time on another group of people. So you can just switch versions, launch one game on one version. After some time, you can just delete it if you want. To install update, you have to still connect to by cable because Wi-Fi's connection is not so stable. That's why we recommend and force people to connect cables to each headset when you're installing the update. But you have to do it once a month or so, whatever. But it saves you a lot of time while installing the update. Let me share one of the good examples of how Device Manager works. Imagine you have a group of people who are playing a game and unfortunately some of the headsets crashed and just switched off. And these players have been playing for an hour or so, and what it means, they will lose all this data, all the kills, statistics. No, we are storing it all in Device Manager, and Game Master can easily just pick another headset and say, move this player from this headset to another one. It will save all his data, all his kills, all his ratings and statistics. So it's really important for clients to see their results and won't lose them at any time.
Lose! I don't lose!
In case if you are using the VR headset without enterprise tracking system, like Oculus Quest or Pico without enterprise, you need to make sure that the tracking works smoothly. In that case, we have a feature that's called like a mini map. It shows you all players on the map from top and you see the physical location. You can adjust the size, the orientation to make sure that the Game Master easily with one side can see if the tracking is okay or you need to pause the game and to make sure and recalibrate maybe some of the headsets. It's really useful only in case if you're not using the enterprise system. But to be honest, I think it's even useful for enterprise system. Why it's so? Because enterprise tracking system is not like a greatest solution. It will try automatically resolve it, but but sometimes it might not resolve it automatically, and Game Master should properly handle it and fix the situation as well. So Minimap is a must-have solution for all device managers. Also, people love to pick the right nicknames in their games, and right now it might be tricky because Game Master has to ask all of the names of 20 players, put them down inside the VR device manager. But right now we are working on the Another World application. Any client who enters your arena can just pick up their phone, put camera on QR code and enter their name, their nickname, probably pick the avatar or pick some skin of the gun they want to use, and it will automatically connect them in the VR game. And Game Masters don't need to write and ask everyone's name. And in that case, in the mobile application, you will get all your data. It shows how many kills you did, how many times you died, some of the screenshots or videos from the game. You can see it all inside Another World application. So this is the feature that we are working on, and I hope we will release it until end of the year. We have been talking about how to pick the right headset. It's an important thing, but another important thing, how to control and properly manage it. So make sure that device management system that you are using has all required features for that. So I hope this video was useful for you. Subscribe to our channel. See you later.